And the purpose of today's hearing is to discuss the role that education and training can play in helping TANF recipients find and retain good jobs. Statistics tell us that every completion of a degree, starting with high school diploma, increases employment and wage levels while reducing poverty. This effect has been growing over time, given the premium on skills that our global economy increasingly demands. So, if the mission of TANF is to promote work and reduce poverty, education and training must be better integrated into the program. As an aside, it's interesting to consider how TANF has shifted from being about children to becoming about work and about adults. The TANF program was really aid for dependent children. That's what was created. And we've shifted the emphasis now to work. There are currently efforts in some states, as we'll hear today, to provide opportunities for TANF recipients to increase their skills. Such efforts could be expanded if the current mantra of the TANF program changed from work first to work best, meaning finding the best path to sustain employment for each TANF recipient based on their needs and their abilities. For some, this may mean immediately moving into a job. For others, it may mean first engaging in training and education so they can become more employable. The current rate of high unemployment actually increases the rationale for expanding training and education opportunities, since it's harder for many TANF recipients to quickly enter the labor market. If you have a situation as we do to where there's 6 people looking for every job that's out there, it's very hard for these TANF people in many instances to get it started. It makes sense to use the time to increase their skills and thus their future employability. Now, I assume we'll hear at least 2 arguments against increasing educational opportunities for TANF recipients. I read the testimony of our witnesses. And first, it may be suggested that training and education doesn't work for welfare recipients. At its core, this argument is based on the assumption that education is good for everyone except the poor. The truth is that education and training programs can work to improve employment opportunities when provided to TANF recipients who are squarely focused on obtaining specific degrees or certificates that increase their chance of securing employment and of receiving a higher wage. The second argument we may hear is that TANF recipients don't deserve an opportunity to go into an education program and training program at all. This reasoning comes from those who think that welfare recipients don't really want to work, and that education or training is just a dodge to avoid employment. The first fact that dispels that myth is the TANF benefit itself. The median TANF benefit in this country, $424 a month. It's a family of 3 to no less than a third of the poverty level in this country. Now, that's not a lifestyle that anyone wants. I don't care who you are. Nobody wants to live on a third of the poverty level. In fact, even if education was more available for TANF recipients, many would still forego skills building for immediate low-wage employment if they can find it, because they're so desperate for more income to raise their children. But the most compelling refutation, in my view, of the ideology comes from TANF recipients themselves. You only have to listen to them speak for a few minutes to start to understand the struggles they fight through every single day to create a better life for their family. They desperately want to succeed and are willing to work to the bone to make it happen. If we help them succeed, we will see a reduction in government benefits and an increase in government revenues as they receive less assistance and pay more taxes. And even more importantly, the American dream that will be realized not only for them, but for their children as well. If a parent is educated and is doing well, the child is modeled after what their parent is. And the modeling that parents who are educated and can read and write and do arithmetic and do all the things that are essential is important for the teaching of kids. I hope that is a goal for which we will all find some consensus. I now yield to my ranking member, Mr. Linder.